say good morning, everyone. Here we are on Saturday class, and I'm going to be talking to you about um, feelings and emotions and the things we put ourselves through. I'm just going to wait a little bit for people to come on. I haven't got my laptop open this time, so if you come in, say hi so that I know that you're there. Just come and say hi, throw some hearts, let me know that I'm not talking into nothing here. I'd love to know I'm not alone. So there we go. There we go. Thank you so much. Hello, Tanya. Hi, Gwen. So, I'm so happy to be here this morning, actually. This is a topic I love talking about. Uh, Most people don't take very well to it because it does hit home a little too much. But be open to it and yeah, be more open to it and see if it resonates with you. See if it wakens anything up in you, because it's it it's something that we don't get taught as kids. I don't think our parents ever got taught, or their parents or their parents. It's not something that gets taught. And I learned this the hard way. I only learned some of these things after the age of 40, and it's actually kind of um, sad if you think about it. If you had these tools when you were growing up. Hello, Alette. Tanya says, moisture tan. Oh, thank you. This is tropical Tanin for you. A little bit of rain and green. Everything's green. So yeah, we're going to be cutting grass every week from now on again. I wish that these skills are being taught to kids at a very young age, because it really does. It empowers you. I'm at a point where if you don't like me, it's fine. I don't care. If you do like me, yay! But I don't sit back anymore just because certain people don't like me. I don't sit back and hide and do this to myself because somebody doesn't like me. If you don't like me, that's fine too. It's your choice. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. So, hello, Joan. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to get started. It's actually very nice out here. It's quite hot, but the sun is shining and everything's green, like you said. And it's quite lovely out here. So I thought I'll do this outside, a little bit more casual than in my office. I don't know if you guys can hear the cicada beetles screaming in the background here. That is what my ears sound like constantly. So when they come out, I'm not sure if it's my ears I'm hearing and if it's the beetles I'm hearing. So yeah, just FYI. Okay, so we're going to be talking about self-hate talk, comparing yourself to others, not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough. These things happen to anyone, if you're overweight or not. It happens to absolutely everyone. Nobody is immune to it unless you get the tools and somebody teaches you something else. This is what we do to ourselves. If you can see that there's so much hate out there, there's so much backlash out there, there's enough nonsense going out in the world. You don't have to put yourself down. There's enough of that out there already. Hello, Jenny. Hi, Paula. Yay, I'm so happy so many people on here today. There's so much bad stuff happening in the world that we don't have to still go in our own heads tell ourselves how bad we are, how awful we are, how not enough we are, and if we would be skinny we would be better. And that's nonsense. That's stuff we grow up with. I honestly cannot pinpoint where that comes from, why that happens, but we put ourselves down so much, and it's unnecessary because the world is bad enough. They will pretty much point out if you're doing something wrong. They will pretty much put you back in your place if you dare step out of place. So you don't have to do this stuff to yourself. I know this is also sounding very negative and all that, but it's okay. I'll get there. Sonika, hello, my dear. Okay, so think about it this way. I learned this particular thing when I was looking at kids. I'm not a kid person. I know I have the most amazing son, love him to bits. Always loved him from very small all the way to now, but I'm not a kids person. Little ones, especially, if you can't communicate with them, I don't know what to do with them. So, but anyway, so I read up a little bit about kids and what to say and what not to, what should you never say to them. And I think it's very much applies to us as well, of how we talk to ourselves. So what we have is am versus action. Okay, so I am stupid. Instead of saying to yourself, I do stupid things. So you attack yourself with I am. In other words, who you are, what you are, your soul, yourself. You attack yourself. Instead of saying what you did was a stupid thing, which is a lot easier to let go of than attacking yourself like that. So the first thing you do is, whatever you say to yourself, you don't use am or I can't think of something else now. I am. You never use I am towards yourself. Unless, of course, you say I am awesome. Then you can do that. But never use I am in a negative way, because you're breaking yourself down. And it gets stuck in your psyche. It really does get stuck there. I am bad. Instead of using I am bad, use I have done a bad thing. You get over it so much easier, because you are unique. You are your own person. You can't be bad. You're not bad. Bad is yeah, I suppose you can be bad, but we're not evil. It's not good and evil against each other. You're not bad. You are unique. You've got your own problems. You see yourself as a unique person, and start loving yourself. Rather change those things in, oh my gosh, I've done the stupidest thing, and this is what I'm going to do to fix it. So you change the way that you approach yourself as well. And you do the same with a kid as well. If you were talking to a 5-year-old, you'll never say, you're bad. You'll never do that. So why do you do that to yourself? See yourself as that 5-year-old kid that's getting bashed and verbally abused constantly. If you were to tell that kid you've done a bad thing, but this is how we fix it. It will never sit in their heads like, I'm bad now, but they've done a bad thing. The action was bad. The same with you as well. You can do a bad thing, but it doesn't make you a bad person. So we've got to start seeing into that. Okay, so I used to hear this all the time. You are so rude, from other people. That I'm so rude. But I would come back at them and say, okay, how do I not be rude? What about our communication is rude? Because I honestly did not understand that. I did not understand that I was coming across as rude. I still don't know if I'm being rude or not. I don't know. It's not something that I was taught. I don't sugarcoat stuff, and I don't do it in here either. I think you guys know that by now. But I try and be as kind about it as I possibly can. But sometimes it still comes off as rude, apparently. So I don't know. I'm not on the other side. But I'm told that I should be more friendly. What's more friendly? It makes no sense. You are so unhappy. Be happier. Okay, I'll be happy. These kind of things don't make sense. You are so negative. Be more positive. Every time I hear somebody tell me to be more positive, I want to climb a tree. Just get out of my own skin, because it's so frustrating to tell me to be positive. My whole world is falling apart around me, and you're telling me to be more positive. I'm going to give you tools on that as well. I remember a time that me and my husband, we weren't married yet, but we went all the way out to, I think it was Rustenburg or something, or was it Stilfontein? I can't even remember where it was. But it's a family gathering, and we went to this family gathering. I hate family gatherings. I'm sorry, I don't like them. I'm not a fan of them, but it's because of my own experiences. Anyway, so we went to visit with them. I think it was my grandmother's birthday or something like that. Everybody's there, and I've got my dog. I've got my puppy with me. I've always got a dog with me. Anyway, so she travels with us everywhere we go. So I think it was Stilfontein. So from Tsenin all the way to Stilfontein, you're talking about 7 hours in the car. You know, it's far. And we were driving a Beetle, an actual old-fashioned Beetle. So, so yeah, so here we go, and we rock up there, and everybody's like friendly, and you know the usual family stuff, and we're all sitting in a huge circle talking. And anyway, so long story short, I got very, very upset because for me, my dog means everything. It's like having a child. That dog was my child. I eventually put her down when she was over 18 years old. So she was with us all the time. She was my baby. Okay, so I can't exactly remember what, but I got so upset because my feelings never gets taken into consideration. I have to always consider somebody else. I have to always take the back seat. I have to always be the bigger person or the better person, or you know. So I always have to take the back seat. And this particular day, I was so very upset. I think there was something wrong with it with my dog Chelsea, and some kid wouldn't leave it alone. I don't even know what kid, something like that. And I got scolded for saying leave the dog alone. But there's nothing wrong with doing that. Leave her alone. She's not well. I don't want anybody touching her. She's on my lap or she's on the floor by me. Leave her alone. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, so it escalated into a huge fight. I left there in tears. We didn't even sleep over. We just got in the car and we went and we came home. So for me, it felt like in my family that my feelings never mattered. I've been told so many times that you're oversensitive. Get over it. Those kind of things, you know. So you start thinking you're the odd one out. You're weird because you have these feelings. Doesn't anybody else have these feelings? And it's unless you've been there, it's very difficult to understand. But it does feel like the whole world's against you because you don't understand some of these emotional signals and social signals and things are completely foreign to you, and you don't understand them, and then it gets completely out of whack. So that's just one scenario of where I got very upset, and my feelings don't matter. It went on like that for many years, and you eventually start thinking, okay, well, you got to masluk it, and you got to hide it, and you got to push it all back down, and because it's normal to be happy all the time, it's abnormal to be upset or to show emotion. So I have learned I've learned the last 2-3 years that I am an emotional being, and that it's okay. It's actually okay. So let me get into one of these things with you. If you, in that scenario that I said with visiting the family, I'm not creating the actual situation, but I am creating that in my own life. I'm creating those. I don't want to say situation. The vibes. I'm creating it in my own life. Okay. Now I know you say because I did the same thing. No, but they're attacking you. So how can you say you're creating that yourself? I'm going to give you another scenario, which is a lot easier to explain to where I'm going with this. There's somebody else also. I don't want to say too much, but she's like so wonderful. I see right through her. I can't stand this woman. She is manipulative. I'm sure she's probably a very nice person in her own head or something, but she is. I've been really trying not to use the word evil, but she's manipulative. And oh my gosh, I could see right through this woman, and everybody is eating up everything she says, and everyone is so into her that I can't say anything. Then I get knocked down. So the one day she was here at my house, and she ended up assaulting me in my house in front of my son and a friend of mine. Everyone heard her side of the story, and everyone said, yeah, no, that's Ilse. That's her. And I'm standing there going, what? I didn't even do anything. I did not even do anything. I had witnesses that was here that heard the whole conversation and how she attacked me. I dragged her all the way from the front to our lounge with her hanging off my neck because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get this woman off me. The only thing I could think of was getting to my cell phone to find my husband. Anyway, so I see right through her. So I am now the odd one out, or the pushed out, because I dare say something about her. Anyway, so I started doing the TRE, and my homeopathic doctor, Dr. Erika Kutzen, and one of the people that work with her, Cecile, kept telling me, but you're doing it. And I'm like, but she's attacking me. Every time there's a gathering or something and she's there, she will come from behind, grab me from behind, whisper something and then run off. And everybody sees this loving person, and I hear what she's saying. I feel what she's doing. And I'm shaking, I'm angry, and I'm scared of this woman. I am so scared of her, I can hardly breathe. So retaliation, or saying something, well, if I dare retaliate, then I'm going to look again like, yeah, I'm out for a fight or something. So anyway, so Cecile and Erika keep telling me, but you're doing it. And I could not understand this. How can they be taking her side? Again, someone's taking her side instead of my side. And eventually I just clicked in my head that, okay, I'm not doing it. I'm not physically doing it, but I am allowing it. I am allowing her to get under my skin. I am allowing her to affect me when I walk into a room and she's there. I am giving all of my power to her. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you. I hope this helps. Throw me some hearts, throw me some thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't understand what I'm saying. But I was giving away my power by allowing her to affect me like that. And once I realized that I was actually doing this, I wasn't physically doing it, but I was allowing it. I was giving away my power, and I was allowing her to affect me in such a deep way that I would shake, I can't breathe, and I get scared. But once I realized, oh my gosh, that's what they're talking about. That is what you're doing yourself, and you can change that. Once I realized that, I implemented it in everything I do. Absolutely everything I do. I think there's a bug on me. Yes, there is. Ah, it's a stingy bug. That's what happens when you sit outside in Tanin in this heat. So anyway, so I started understanding that by allowing it, I could shut that door. I could not allow it. Why do you not allow it? How do you not allow it? Very, very good question, Tanya. Very good question. How do you not allow it? Now this is where we go in deeper. What I said already, the self-hate talk, comparing with others, not good enough and not feeling worthy enough, and telling yourself you're stupid and telling yourself you're bad. This is where that comes into play now, because if you can turn it around, that you talk with yourself in a respectful way. If you respect yourself, others will respect you as well. If you talk to yourself in a loving way, you will suddenly turn and talk to others in a loving way. If you look after yourself, I am goosebumps. If you look after yourself, you'll look after other people in the same exact way. So it all comes back to what you do to yourself, what you say to yourself, how you see yourself. And then that also comes in with the whole positivity thing. I've said this many times before. Excuse me. Being positive is not a switch you flick and now you're positive and now you're smiling and happy. That's hogwash. It doesn't happen like that. So please, if you ever tell somebody they must be more positive, be willing to back that up with a how. Like Tanya now asked me how. Be willing to back it up and explain it to them. If you ever say to someone, oh, just be more positive, feel me slapping you against the head. I should pop into your head immediately. Back it up with teaching someone what it is to be positive. What is it actually to be positive? And what I've learned over the last 2 or 3 years now is that being positive is being able to see your way through a difficult situation. It's being able to see you get through that situation whole, without all the drama, without all the heartache, without all of that. You can see yourself making it through this as a whole person, not a broken person. You can actually see coming out in a positive way on the other side. So being positive, this is why I said I'm doing this week for the 10 days, the 10-day gratitude posts that we're doing. If you practice gratitude, think about it. I want to actually, everybody close your eyes and think about it. Take a nice deep breath and let it out. Now think about something that you're grateful for. My first thought goes to my husband and my kid. What happens when you think about that something that you are truly grateful for? You're so grateful for it, you can feel it in your heart. What happens when you do that? You start smiling. Versus think about something bad. What happens? The smile goes away. So you can open your eyes again now and type in there for me, what are you truly grateful for? What makes you smile? What makes you think back on it and go, oh, that was funny, or that was lekker, that was a good vacation, or my husband kissed me in such a nice way. I won't give away too much, but anyway, so yeah, those things are going to make you smile. Those things are going to make you feel good. Those things are going to make you beam out more positive. That is what it is. That is what positivity is. That's what being more positive is simply don't do that. Going back and be grateful. Breathe, be grateful, and you'll see how many of the problems actually melt away. I know there are some problems that can't just be positive away, but if you can be positive and you can breathe, you can see another way through it, or you can realize that this is the other tool I want to give you. If you can realize that some of the things you can change and you can do something about it, and some of the things you can't, and you need to let go of that. That was very difficult for me to understand. Do what you can and let go of what you can't. That was so difficult for me to understand because nobody explained it to me. And that simply means that if, let's take our group. It's all about weight loss. It's all about getting healthy. Okay? You can change the way you eat. You can change what you eat in order to change your weight and your health. But if you're sitting there thinking, I'm overweight, I'm unhealthy, I can do nothing about my situation, then you can't do anything about that situation. But if you're in a positive mindset, then you can start making a plan and you can find, okay, I can eat these foods and lose the weight and gain my health back. I hope you guys are understanding that. Jenny says, I agree. Loving yourself, especially, I feel it more since I started banting. Although sometimes the loving yourself, Seymour, does dip every now and again. So grateful for my family and daughter and listening to the South African birds sounds where you are. So yeah, it's gonna be in and out. That's gonna happen. But this is now where we practice gratitude every day. If you have a mindset of finding that good stuff first thing in the morning. When you wake up, you find 5 things that you're grateful for. Jenny, I think you can remember back then I taught you guys in the groups as well that find those 5 things. Every morning, find the 5 things that you're grateful for. And if you put it on your alarm or something like that, little reminder coming up, that shows you first thing in the morning, oh, I got to do my gratefulness or grateful tasks or whatever. Then you remember every morning. Because if you forget, it's not going to help. But every morning you get up, you find 5 things you're grateful for. Even if it's the same 5 things, it doesn't matter. Try and do it differently, try and word it differently, but get a diary and write those things in every day. If you use pen and paper, it converts your thoughts into subconscious mind easier than just reading them out loud every time. Find 5 things, yay! So find those 5 things every morning, say them out loud, write them with a pen. Pen and paper is the only way to really learn and to get that subconscious to wake up and do what it's supposed to do. Now, if you have your 5 things, after about a week or so, somebody comes at you, you can actually, hang on. I love my dogs, I love my husband, I love my house. It starts manifesting in other things that you do, not just the morning. But you've got to go into your heart space. When you say those 5 things out and you go into your heart space, your hearts of hearts, and you feel, I love my animals, I love my husband, I love my child, I love my job, I love my house. And you can actually feel good. You feel all fuzzy and goosebumpy, and those feelings is what imprints it on your psyche, your subconscious, and that is what manifests when somebody attacks you, or something bad happens, or somebody puts a blooming cake in front of you and you're trying to lose weight. Those things will come up, and those reactions will come up that you can kindly say, no thank you, I'm banting, or I really don't want any, or whatever the case may be. So you got to find your heart space and work from there, from your heart, where you can actually change things. That is changing what you can. Okay? So you can change those things. You can change your diet. You can change the way you think. You can change yourself. Can you change someone else? Of course you can't. You cannot change someone else. So in my situation, I cannot change this woman who attacked me. I can't change the situation because everybody thinks she's like holier than thou or whatever. I can't change them. But what I can do is I can change myself. I can change myself, and I can walk into a room with my head held high, greet nicely, and carry on with my life. So I eliminate any backlash, anything that anybody else is going to throw at me. I can breathe. I can be proud of myself. I am actually better than you. I'm not going to stoop as low as you. So I will greet and I'll go on with my life. And at the end of the day, that makes me calmer. That makes me happier. I couldn't care less what happens to her. That doesn't matter. She and everybody else doesn't matter. What does matter is how I walk away feeling I'm proud of myself. I feel good. I did good. And I did not give my power away. So that is what it's about. That is why you got to understand that some of the stuff, probably most of the stuff, we are doing to ourselves. We're absolutely doing it to ourselves. And if you're going to see that, I'm not saying that you are bad or something like that, but we do that to ourselves because of the misinterpretation of how to handle a situation. If these 2 amazing women never sat with me and kept telling me, but you're doing it, you're doing it, you're doing it, I would never have realized what I was doing to myself. And I would never have been able to change. So this is where, once you learn this, the responsibility is on you to go and help someone else. Help someone else realize that there's nothing wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. The way you perceive the world and how you interpret situations comes from your subconscious. Change your subconscious and start seeing the good. Start seeing. We were in this house. We've probably been here about 13 years now, 13 years or so. The first 3 nights was horrible. It was strange. It was scary. Things didn't feel good. The third night, I woke up with someone with a torch in my window, my bedroom window, looking to see what I've got. I jumped out of that bed. I didn't even think. It was just wham. All of a sudden, I'm sitting in a corridor holding my kid and screaming for my husband. So that was extremely traumatic for me. And ever since, we never took care of our yard. We never took care of the outside. Look as poor as we can so that nobody can come and break in. We had a guard sit here for about a week while we had the electric fence put up, because I was so incredibly scared I couldn't sleep. We were sleeping in shifts. I could not sleep if Stephen wasn't awake. If he's awake, I can sleep. And then we would swap. He would sleep and I'm awake. So that was a really, really traumatic event that got stuck with me. And those traumatic events, if you don't deal with it, can cause health issues. It can cause sociability issues. It can cause the way that you perceive the world now is now bad. Everything outside of this house is bad. And you can't live like that. Obviously you can't live like that. You cannot be friendly and nice when you're feeling, are you here to rob me? Why are you here? You know? So you're sitting with those feelings and thoughts in your head constantly. And once you can let go of it, then you can think clear. Now, this is the one thing that I never knew I could do something about. So TRE helped me to get over that trauma in the first place. This is why I started making everything so pretty. After I did my course with Erica, I actually started this table I'm sitting on. My husband and son built it. I took the whole thing apart and I varnished it. Not varnished, it's like a wood care thingy. And then I put it all back together again. So we all basically built this table. So we built the table and we've got a kachel fireplace on the stoep here so that we can visit outside. I've got plants galore. We cleaned up the yard. I painted the rails and I started making things pretty because I was proud of my house. I loved this house. Now I love this house. I don't care about the other stuff that happens in the parkie. I love my house. I love my spot. We have been begged to sell in the past. I don't want to sell. I used to say rather the devil you know than the devil you don't. But I'm comfortable. This is my house. This is my spot. And I love it. So you can change the way that you see things. You can change the outcome. You don't have to stay a victim all the time. It is very difficult to see a good outcome when you're in that situation. Obviously, nobody can see a good outcome. But if you practice gratitude on a daily basis, it becomes so much easier to see a good outcome. And this is where the whole visualization thing comes in. We did QEC with Erica as well. Quantum energy counseling, which basically comes down to core beliefs, what your beliefs are, your own beliefs, your beliefs about the world, your beliefs about yourself, your limited beliefs, but basically what your subconscious, that word, believes and what it manifests because of that. So it is like I said just now, you go into your heart of heart space, you go through what you're grateful for and you actually feel that gratitude for it, and you can see a better outcome. The biggest thing about practicing gratitude is it also makes you take those few minutes to just breathe. If you want to now have the science behind it, breathing means your brain is getting oxygen, which means you can think. So if you're in a terrible situation like I was every time I had to be in the same room as this woman, I can't breathe, I'm shaking, everything is just going into autonomic system, so all this automatic stuff comes out, backlash, fight, flight. Well, actually it was more fight than flight because I'm a fighter. So all these things come out, and afterwards you sit there thinking, shit, I should not have done that. Then it's too late. But if you think in that moment, I'm grateful for my dog, I'm grateful for my husband, I'm grateful for my... You take deep breaths. And as soon as you take deep breaths, bam, your brain starts working. And you can get yourself out of that situation. So again, it is science and it's spiritual. So it's on both sides. Your garden looks gorgeous, especially listening in your background of birds and Christmas. Those cicadas are... They big time out now, hey. So well done for making it good. Thank you. See, we've even got a roofie up. Okay, we've been trying to put a roof up here for many years, and eventually I told my husband, you know what? We've got 2 of these sitting in the garage. Can we just put one up? So now it's nice to sit outside in the garden with this thing up. So that's lekker. But yeah, so if you can then start seeing a way out of a sticky situation, seeing a way past those cakes. This so applies to when we go on a healthy diet as well, because there's things you have to say no to. Now, if you're in your grateful space and you're in your heart of heart space and you can see yourself proudly say, no thank you, then that can also manifest itself. You come into that situation and you can go, no thank you. And you can walk away so proud of yourself because you have already seen it. You've already thought about it. This is where my goal and vision assignment in my program, many of you have done it. It comes into play there because we've set your goals, know exactly what your goals are, get very clear on what those goals are. Now those goals can set into the psyche, subconscious, okay? So the subconscious can start manifesting, this is what you want, okay? And you come into a situation and you can say no, or you're prepared. But you practice that gratitude, you think about what it is that you want, you know what it is you want, you're very clear on that, and then you start seeing yourself in that situation. You see yourself coming out of this bad health, overweight situation that you're in, and you can come out on the other side. You can actually start seeing that. So your subconscious is going to start manifesting that as well. I know I'm using weird words here, but it is kind of scientific too. But we are what our subconscious believes. So if you start changing your core beliefs that you are good, you are awesome, you can do this, you can actually do this, you can lose the weight, you can overcome these health issues, and you can let go of a lot of medications, then your subconscious starts believing that. You believe that with your every fiber of your soul. Ever heard that expression? With every fiber of your soul. Now, if you believe in yourself with every fiber of your soul, then of course you're going to make it on the other side. Of course you can make it, and you can do it. So we got to start thinking about our core beliefs, what we allow. That's a big one, is what we allow. My bum is getting sore. This is the bad thing about losing weight. There's no padding under that bum. So change the way that you see things. Change the way you think about things. How you perceive the world. And how much you care. Because I get tons and tons of backlash. Oh my gosh, you guys don't see it. The inboxes I get about how I'm killing people. Now, I am evil. I've been told one day that, how did this woman put it? Satanistic. That I'm satanistic. I read this thing, I showed it to my husband, and I just blocked her. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to get into a conversation with you. I actually personally know her as well, which is fine. Everyone's got their opinion. How I get around that, I've actually got something I'd like to just quickly read to you. I had to write it down so I can remember it. So it goes something like this. If you are not in the arena also having your ass kicked, then your opinion does not matter. So in other words, if you're not out there like I am, teaching people, putting yourself out there, helping others, and you're not in that arena of fighting for sugar lobbying and taxes and trying to get rid of the sugar in our kids' schools, and if you're not in that arena with me, also having your ass handed to you, then your opinion doesn't matter. In other words, the backlash and all this keyboard ninjas, their comments and things doesn't matter, because they are not in the arena with me. They are not fighting the same fight as I am. They are not trying to be a part of the solution. So their opinion doesn't matter. So if you can make that work in your life somehow as well, having somebody that's on you constantly about something that you do, then just simply remember, it's easy to be a keyboard ninja. It is so easy. I don't even argue with some of these people on Facebook. I state my case and then I leave it. I just sit back and I don't get popcorn. I get biltong and then I watch the fight. You don't argue with people that are not in the same fight as you. It's not worth it. They could harm you. They can hurt you. Yes, of course it hurts to hear that you're Satanistic. You know, that doesn't feel good. But I don't allow her to take my power. I don't stop doing what I'm doing, because I know the value that I bring to people and the changes that I have already brought to people. I'm not honking my own horn here, but I have seen changes in people. And this is why I keep doing what I'm doing. And if I get backlash, that's fine. It just means that I'm actually getting to you too. So let me just read some of these comments here. Let me see. Great tools, advice. I actually feel emotional. I'm really trying not to cry. Teary now. Oh my goodness, Tanya. I've got some work to do. I've always struggled to see my future ideal self. Yes, there you go. You've got to work on yourself. But you're doing so well. Paula says, I agree, Jenny. It's dull and damp in Scotland, but I love my country. You know what? I would love to go to England, especially in the rainy season. Apparently that's more than half the year. Grateful for being still in touch with my beloved South Africa. Paula says, we will always have work to do, but we can do this. Yes, you absolutely can. And the first place you got to start with is, there's nothing wrong with you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. What we have been taught and what we perhaps have not been taught is what shapes us, and we've got to make sense out of this world. This is why the millennials struggle so much at the moment, because everything's handed to them. Everything is, if you go and run, everyone gets a medal, everyone's a winner. Then suddenly they get into the world and they have to make sense out of this cruel world that says, where's your matriculation certificate? Where's your degree? You actually can't do that. You're fired. You know, so there is no second place in the real world. So it's difficult for us if we haven't been taught or given these tools to use to change. How on earth are you supposed to change? So next time you hear somebody tell someone else, just be positive, be more positive, you can actually take my hand and slap them against the head too. Please don't go and assault people. But then you can intervene and you can step in and say, but you know what? How about you teach her what positivity is, how to be positive, how to change into a positive person. We've got some terrible things going on at the moment. I'm not going to get into it until it's done, and then I can tell you about it. But it's dragging my husband down so badly that I think it was August, half the month he was off of work because he was so sick. It's stress, it's horrible. And I have to stay positive for him. So I don't go and tell him, oh, Liefie, be positive. No, I tell him how amazing he is and how well he has done and what he deserves and how we would be lost without him. And you build up his positive vibes. You build him up. And if you build him up, he can become more positive. He's not just going to change to positive because I say be more positive, you know. I give him something to be grateful for. I show him what his son has done for him. I show him that we are there, and you know, he got my dream car, but yeah, still he got to buy a new car. So there's things to be grateful for. So instead of telling him to be positive, I try and point out what he's got to be grateful for and where he is heading, so that he can see an outcome. And in doing so, he gets more positive, and his situation changes. So we're now on the last stretch of this whole situation, but we can both see a positive outcome. We can both hold our chest out, head up high. We weren't assholes. We didn't do the wrong thing. We didn't lose it. We did it the right way. The long way, but the right way. And we will come out strong at the end. Let me just have a look quickly here. Okay, Jenny, you and Paula should actually have a good chat with each other because you're in the same country to start off with. So yeah, but yeah, we have to start looking after ourselves, and it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to think of yourself first. I'm sure everybody's heard of the gezegde, the saying, an empty cup is empty. I don't know, can't do something. But an empty cup, in other words, you don't have positivity, you don't have the will, you don't want to, you're miserable. If you're like that, you can't help anybody. Now, if your cup's full and you're positive and you've rested and you've taken care of yourself, you will be such an amazing person to take care of someone else. So you've got to look after yourself. Okay. Everything happens for a reason. I love this. I absolutely love this. This gets me out of trouble constantly. Everything happens for a reason. Some of you may know that I've had to close my office here in Tsenin. I had a small shop where I was selling supplements and Banting goodies and stuff like that. Anyway, so it's very sad. After 2 years, I had to close up my shop. And for myself, I just told myself that this is happening for a reason. It had to happen for a reason. Yes, I've got a ton of money to pay back and all of that stuff, but it had to happen for a reason. I had to learn something, and I'm grateful for the time that I had the office, the shop. I got to meet incredible people. I got to learn. I got to study. Through the business, I managed to study as well. So all of that stuff, I'm so grateful for all of that stuff. And I tried to give Tsenin a nice little shop. But it's not as easy as it looks. So lesson learned, and I look forward. I learned a lot. I started writing my book. So maybe it happened because I need to finish my book. Maybe it happened because I need to be here right now speaking to you instead of sitting in my shop. Who knows? The reason for something happening is, however, not for you to know. Let me just quickly see here. This is so good. We'll have to listen to this again. Tanya, please do. Go over it as many times as you need to, because every time you're going to listen to this, you're going to hear something different and something else will resonate with you. Because when it coming back to things happen for a reason. Sure. I had to get overweight, get arthritis, break my back, IBS. I had to get IBS. I had to be 139 kilos. I had to go through 25 to 30 years of all of that to be able to sit here today and teach you. That's how I put it in my head anyway. So things happen for a reason. Why did I lose almost 30 years of my life? So when you start asking those questions, what I do is I find my own answer. If it's the right thing or not doesn't matter. I love it. I love thinking that I had to go through all of that to be able to study, to be able to lose all the weight and to be able to help you now. So that's my reasoning. Every now and again I still get a dip where I think, oh my gosh, what I could have done as a teenager if I had not, my bones didn't start getting brittle, if I could do this, if I could do that, if I could breathe, if I could run, if If is bad. Stay away from if. If will take you down a rabbit hole you do not want to go down. Rather say to yourself and start believing it. Everything happens for a reason. And the reason is not for you to know. You might in a few years' time see why. Oh my gosh, this is why that happened. It's a bad thing that's happening to you right now and you won't feel very good. But sit back, breathe. This happened for a reason. And go on with your life. I know it's very easy for me to say because I have seen it. I live it. I absolutely live it. Excuse me. When somebody lashes out at me as well, I use the same thing. This happened for a reason. If it's her reason or my reason, I don't know. It doesn't matter. This happened for a reason. Breathe and don't lash back. Because once you get that chance to breathe, you get that chance to think. You get that chance to act in kindness instead of retaliation. So, yeah, I love that. Things happen for a reason. My poor sister-in-law has had to listen to that for the last 3 months. Oh, yes, sis, I know. Things happen for a reason. Just trying to convince myself as well that things happen for a reason. It is sometimes really difficult to really believe that. But keep saying it to yourself. Keep saying it to yourself. It releases you from all that stress because, again, it comes down to change what you can and accept what you can't. So if you can't change the situation, it is so much easier to just put it off as it happened for a reason. You can't do anything about it. It happened for a reason. But if it's something that has happened and you can do something about it, then do something about it. Take action. Be an action taker. Take some chances. Okay, so what you think will be. I know there's a lot of people that give you backlash on this as well, but what you believe will be. So if you take my program and you believe that you are going to fail, then you're going to fail. I cannot change that for you. With my goals and vision assignment, I stretch you as far as I can to show you there's your goals, to show you there's your vision. Then you have to take it from there. You still have to do it. So what you think will be, the more you think about how you're going to struggle, how this is not going to work, or how you're going to miss your bread, or how you're going to miss your potatoes, the more you're focused on that, the more that's going to happen. This is why we put you on a focus of enjoying the meat, enjoying the vegetables. Focus on what you can and let go of what you can't, instead of dreading what you can't. That's another one of my favorite things to say. And then this too will pass. This too will pass. Anything that happens to you, it will pass. You will get through it. It will end. If you're so focused on the bad and so into what's going wrong, you can't see all the good stuff that's going on around you. Like the greenery. This is amazing. I would say probably about 5 days ago, this was brown. It was horrible. It was still brown. So after the bit of rain we had, everything just came back. So the same with the way you think of something. If you're focused on, I can't have bread and I can't have potatoes, then you're going to see your whole world's going to be brown. You're going to be so focused on that. But if you get off it and you start seeing what you can have, be it olives or your favorite meat or whatever, suddenly, like this garden, everything will become happy and green around you, and you're gonna start seeing all the stuff you can, and the stuff you're dreading falls away. So your core beliefs, absolutely, what you think will be really does happen, and this too will pass, because it will pass. If you believe this too will pass, it will pass. So yeah, there we go. That's me rambling on about talking with yourself, loving yourself, taking care of yourself. We have got to do this. Tanya says things happen for a reason. Yep, they do. So symbolic. Our Gardens just need a bit of rain. Yep, exactly. The same with yourself as well. There's this amazing person just waiting to come out. If you would just give it some love, let some love rain on it. That will be your symbolism for the rain. You need some love to be showered over you, of yourself, by yourself. Did you know that it is very difficult to accept someone else's love when you can't love yourself? Think about that. Take that away and think about that. Just stew on it for a little bit and see what happens. I got told that all the time, oh, I can't do without my potatoes and bread, but I just say I don't miss it and love the food we eat. Look how I've changed. Exactly, Paula. Exactly. And I know I deal with clients all the time, and the first thing they tell me is, how do I do this without bread? Let's get you off that bread. Because the bread and the potatoes and the rice, they are so extremely addictive. It is like losing a loved one for some people. It can be so extremely heartbreaking because they've got that love in those things so much, and you're taking their safety blanket away. I had the exact same reaction to stop smoking, because we'd lost the weight and we got so healthy, and I said to my husband, you leave my one thing alone. And the one thing we keep telling ourselves when you're a smoker is that this is my thing. This is my one joy in life. Really? Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Your one joy in life. I've got my animals, I've got my son, I've got my husband, we've got our house, we've got our lives together. There's so much more joy to be had without that blooming stinky. So, yes, eventually I gave that up. Woo. I actually just one Sunday evenings told my husband, that's it, I'm done. And that was it. That was the last. So we've got to let go of those safety blankets, and we've got to be willing to explore and know that you are an emotional being. I am an emotional being. I will bloody cry if I want to cry. And I will express how I feel. You guys have watched my videos. Once or two I've cried as well. That's me. That is absolutely me. If you can't shed a tear, then that is you. We are different. We are not all the same. But I don't feel ashamed for crying. That is me. I am an emotional person. I'm a Gemini, so I'm a very nice person, and I'm a very awful, rude person. Oh my gosh, I just said I am. I can be very rude, and I can be, oh my gosh, I just did it again. Oh my word. You see how complicated it can be to do that. So yeah, I have talked rudely, yeah, because I'm a Gemini, and I've got a very nice and a very stubborn personality. There we go. There's a nice way to say it. I focus on banting good food when I go shopping, and close my mind to the rest. As I think of junk, it is like putting flour and water into a bowl, and the result is glue. Oh, nice one. Jenny, that is a nice one. You're eating glue. Gluten, glue. All that flour stuff. Because the flour is the glue in your food. That's actually such a nice one. Well done. So Jenny says basically when shopping is being done and stuff like that, she thinks of all these bakeries and all that stuff as flour, and you add water to it, and you've got glue. Who wants to eat that? That is brilliant. I love that. So yeah, find ways. There we go. She just found a way for herself to cope with that, a coping mechanism, which she has put into her subconscious. So every time she sees that food, she sees glue. Who wants to be eating glue? So yeah, I've gone a couple of steps further. Every time we walk into one of these supermarkets that's got all this food packed out everywhere, I see like a CSI person. I can see all the all the bugs and all the germs sitting on that stuff. So I'd rather buy my ingredients, wash them. I'm not a germaphobe at all, but I push it to that extent so I can stay away from it. So I'd rather get my own ingredients that are clean, not sneezed on or touched by someone else, and I'll make it at home. So that is my way of coping with that. Hello, Ivan. It's nice to see you in here. I have been banting for 3 weeks and I have lost 7. Who climbed on the scale? And I've lost 7.5 kilos. Woohoo! That is amazing. Thank you for your time, Ilse, and motivation. You see? That is what I do this for. That is amazing. And this man is he is amazing. Can't wait. I can't wait for the next 6 months to go by. Anyway, so yeah, that's me on self-love, taking care of yourself. It is absolutely okay to take care of yourself. I insist that you take care of yourself. Have some fun. Breathe. Take some breathing exercises. But just breathe so that your brain can think, so that you can think properly and get yourself out of a situation you don't want to be in. I have many a times stopped myself from saying the wrong thing to a very wrong person just by breathing. I got myself out of a messy situation with my previous shop because I did not allow this man to get under my skin. So every time he tried to pick a fight, I would simply just put the phone away, breathe, and then get back to him very kindly and very nicely. And I got myself out of a really bad situation by doing that. So it is worth looking after yourself. It is worth practicing to breathe, practicing to say to yourself, there's nothing wrong with you. You are good enough. You are amazing. You can do these things. And if those people are not in your arena, getting your ass kicked, they don't matter. It's as simple as that. Start thinking about it that way. Comment for me below. I want to see if you guys are going to try this and go on with the gratitude posts for the rest of the week. I'm going to see who is the most engaging with posts and comments and put the loves in. It's a love week. It's about gratitude. So we want to get hearts in here as well. And we want you to post, and then you go and heart everybody else's post. You can also comment in their post with hearty thingies of some sort. But this week is a gratitude week, and we are grateful for each and everyone that's in this group as well. So there we go. You guys, thank you so much. I love doing this. Yay! My weekend is made. You see, giving is receiving. So, yeah. So I'm as high as a kite, and I'm going to go and have some lunch. I'm hungry. Yes, I'm going to have eggs. Eggs. So let us know what you're having for lunch and what you're having for tea. Look at my cup. How gorgeous my cup is. It's a little heart cup. So it's all about love. I sound like a blooming hippie. But yeah, it's all about love. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for keeping this going. I love it. I love doing it. And I am here for you. Look out for next week's Black Friday special coming up. And of course, the early bird to my 6-month program is opening up on Monday. So yay! Thank you all so much. Mwah. Love you lots. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.